You are listening to 93.9 Dublin South FM.
Broadcasting from the Dundrum Town Centre, this is Dublin South FM.
So Sharad is here talking about the change maker. Who are the change makers? And the change makers are those who are, and he's talking about with a gentleman called Kundan. He's talking about this whole business of private education outside India. And to link with that, I have in the studio Imran Khanim, who's a perfect example of that, sitting beside me in the studio, is all about that. So sit back, relax, and learn about it.
Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.
If you remember in our episode on August 22nd this year, you discussed deep into the educational system of India and how students from India have migrated to universities across the world, including Ireland, in search for better career and opportunity. And then you pointed out many of these students could not find themselves with the right job and they are struggling. So when the career goes off, it's not just the individual that is suffering, but then the entire family and the support system is suffering because of the impact of that misalignment. Good afternoon, dear friends. Today, we are excited to speak with someone who has taken on the challenge of closing this gap between academia and industry and is helping who are struggling in their careers, not only with students but others from diverse background. You might think of it as just another mentorship, but then what our guest Kundan Sharma offers goes beyond that. His work doesn't just guide students and graduates, whether they are fresh out of schools with PhDs, but also those who have backgrounds in entirely different professions such as security guards, single mothers, teachers, victims of domestic abuse, and even figures like Panditji. So Kundan Sharma's approach, as I understand, is nothing short of transformative. It involves not just technical expertise, but a deep emotional connection and an unwavering support for his students. Through his unique model that combines technical, emotional, financial, and counseling support, he has made a difference in lives of countless individuals. Therefore, in our interview, we wanted to hear directly from Kundan Sharma about his incredible journey and the impact he has made. So I began by asking him about what inspired his unique and inspirational journey.
Essentially, when I came to this country, so I saw that there's a huge gap between the industry and the academics. So I could realize that there was no such, I would say, academics was completely outdated as compared to the industry. And there were many, I would say, fellow students who used to come from India and they used to put so much on stake by taking a lot of student loan. They used to put their house and mortgage properties. And then when they used to come here, after basically taking the education from there, I mean, there was no, I would say, the quality of education in the universities was absolutely pathetic. They were just, for the name's sake, they were universities, but they were not giving the quality education. So after completing, let's say, their master's or graduation, I saw that they were literally struggling to get a proper career path after their masters, and whereas the industry was quite far ahead as compared to the academics. So there was, I would say, a huge potential where somebody needed to fill that gap. So I just realized that, I mean, maybe because there's no proper mentorship available, no guidance available, and now I would say there are so much, I would say, shops available. I'll call them shop, right? So people, they are selling their, I would say, the content without proper guidance and mentorship, and because people they come to this country with a lot of hopes and aspirations, they fall into those traps. I would say I call them as a gullible students or gullible customers.
Yes.
And so I realized that there was no honesty, I would say, in this, and because I come from industry, I have almost more than 2 decades of experience. So I knew where I would say the students were lacking. So I just thought, why not let me try out something innovative which probably no one has done it before.
How many students you started this experiment of overcoming the challenges of skill set and gap between industry and academic?
Yeah. So essentially I started with only 4 students, right? So I started with them, and my intention was basically just to to share my knowledge and experience. There was no commercial interest in that, right? So I started it as a pilot project. I thought that let me just see if I can make a difference to their life. And I started teaching them, and essentially I started teaching online with them, online to them, and then I taught them almost for 3 years. So you'll be surprised, I did not charge even a single penny for 3 years.
Yes.
And I started basically recording my lectures, right? So, and the reason why I was recording my lectures because initially I had a plans to bring them to the classroom, but then there were a lot of logistics involved in that. They could not afford the transportation fees, etc. They could not commute. It was quite time consuming. So I thought, let me start doing over the Zoom.
So why did you not take the opportunity of having a commercial interest into this model?
I just wanted to know that whether this model can it be successful also or not. So there was, I thought that let me try out doing something different which no one has done it. So I started doing something from scratch, and I started teaching those 4 students, and I realized it that once at the end of the training, all 4 of them, they got placed. And
excellent.
So when I say all 4 of them got placed, I mean getting when I say a student, an overseas student, when he comes to this country, getting a sponsorship and work permit is almost impossible. So for them, I mean, I would say 2 of them actually needed sponsorship, and they got sponsorship for the first time. And after that, basically, then I realized that maybe yes, whatever I'm doing, it is actually making a difference to people's life. And then they started basically giving me a lot of satisfaction and energy. And then I thought, how can I do this in a sustainable manner so that I'm able to make difference to students' life, as well as keeping my commercial interest also intact. But at the very beginning, there was absolutely no commercial interest involved in that. I'll be very honest with that. So I started doing it, and when the first prototype, it became successful, when all the 4 students, they got the job, I did not have to market anywhere. So it started, I would say, I mean, through word of mouth, it started spreading like anything.
So with so many years, how many students would have come to you to get their careers enhanced and upgraded?
I started this journey in year 2017, and now it has been almost 7 years. And I started with 4 students, and today I have managed to penetrate 17 countries.
Wow, that's huge. And do you cater to a specific skill set, or is it that you take students from any background and then you are able to guide them through their career irrespective of the skill set?
As I said, I started with 4 people. Those all 4 were from IT background. But because I would say all the 4 people, they got job. Then in year 2019, COVID came. And I saw that it had a massive, I would say, impact on the society. People from service sector, they were getting impacted. So I just took it as a pilot, I would say, project. I started teaching a security guard.
Okay. Security guard, when you say security guard, that is like physical
security guard who is actually checking,
standing by the boundaries, and they are doing the surveillance, physical surveillance of the properties.
Exactly, physical surveillance. And then I started teaching him, and then I had nothing to basically to showcase myself that I have done this project in the past. The only proof I had is these 4 students.
Okay.
So I showed them that these are the 4 students, and then basically that security guard, I trained him. And when he got a job and he started his career into IT as an automation tester, he started with a very decent package of 45,000 pounds.
That is huge.
So for a security guard making a career into IT as an automation tester, that too with a starting package of 45,000 pounds, I would say it is truly
this is magnificent. This is
yes.
miracle. Yeah, for somebody's career, it's a miracle. So what was the student's reaction when somebody saw a first paycheck of 45,000 package a year?
When I have witnessed, I would say now I have lost count how many such journeys I have gone through. Students basically, if you say in terms of reaction wise, I mean, sometimes they start crying, they don't believe it. And they are, I would say, they would like to pinch them, whether it's a reality that they have managed to achieve that. So it's a very, very, I would say, I cannot basically explain this in words, but then the follow-up crowd, what happened after that security guard, you'll be surprised to know, I got a call from a priest, which we call Panditji, right? So a proper Panditji, I mean, who performs all the religious activities.
Yes.
He came to me, and he was 47 when he called me.
47 years of age.
47 years of age. And imagine that a priest, he always chants Sanskrit mantras, shlokas, and he performs all religious activities. Now, can you just teach me? So for me, again,
it was a challenge.
It was a challenge, and I did not know that whether I'll be able to do justice to that or not. But then I had to basically, I could not lie to him. So I said, this is a journey. I've done this to a security guard. Whether you are willing to take this up as a challenge or not, we can definitely do it. And then Pandit Ji, he took that challenge, right? And he started this journey, and that was, I would say, one of its kind in entire earth. You would never ever have heard that any Pandit Ji doing coding into IT. And I can confidently say that you will not find any other priest on this entire earth.
That might make an entry into Guinness Book of World Record.
Absolutely. So when Pandit Ji came and when he started his career into IT, and at that too at the age of 47, immediately I would say there was a surge of students. The next person to come was a hotelier. And hotelier, his qualification was diploma in hotel management. Who spent almost more than 2 decades into hotel. He was so much inspired by Pandit Ji that if he can do it, why can't I do it?
Yes.
And
makes
again,
sense.
Basically, he started following the same journey what Pandit Ji had gone through, and he again started his IT career at the age of 46. With a package of 46,000 pounds.
Well, the age matches the package, but that's excellent. Again, a magnificent story.
Absolutely. Someone, who has been a hotelier for almost 2 decades, he decides to change his altogether career from a hotel line to IT. I would say that is something I would say very, very unique.
So it's not proper career shift because these people are coming from diverse background, from diverse career streams, and from different economics and different job and they are now being guided by you, mentored by you into a career into IT testing and IT automation testing.
I would like to further add here the variety or the versatility of I would say my students are really, really versatile. And it's not only ends with the hotelier. I have students who has been a school teacher, teaching assistant. I have a delivery boy who used to work as a delivery boy. And today he is working into IT. I had housewife, right? And I have someone, I would say from the remote areas, I would say from Uttarakhand. I'm not sure if you, Uttarakhand, there's a guy who used to, I'm not getting the English word for it.
Hindi should be okay.
भेड़ चराता था.
Oh, shepherd.
Shepherd, yeah. And today he is appearing for interviews into IT. So imagine that someone who was a shepherd at one point of time, today he is appearing into IT companies for
interview
for relevant opportunities, and very soon he'll be starting his IT career. So imagine the kind of transformation from a remote village. He was a shepherd once upon a time, and very soon he has already given interviews. So this is a very, very massive transformation. It's not only that. I have trained basically a daughter of a security guard, and she again used to come from, I would say she had done BBA, which is not even related to IT. So a daughter of a security guard, she works with a renowned company called Capgemini, and she started her, I would say, IT career. So you can imagine that someone, who is not even able to, I would say, get a proper accommodation at once upon a time because her father was earning very, very less. Now she is working into IT and getting a 6-figure package. In India. And there was a more housewife. She is MCom. MCom is Masters in Commerce. She started her IT career at the age of 42. At the age of 42, MCom background.
And they are into IT.
They are into IT, and she started with a decent package with 9 lakhs per annum as an automation tester.
So not only are there cases of career shift, these are transformation of lives also, economically by pay package and also by opportunities into information technology.
Absolutely. And the journey does not end here. I have a student in US, and she was a housewife for 15 years. And imagine if someone who has been a housewife for 15 years, how much confidence they will have if they want to start their career into IT. And she did have some work experience of 3 years prior to 15 years back home in India, and she was staying in US for last 15 years. So she started with one of the big investment bank, which is JP Morgan, with a package of $100,000.
That is huge.
Yes.
That is inspirational, actually.
It is.
All these cases are inspirational. So how do you plan to expand your global influence further into the society. I would say you are touching all aspects of society, all levels of society. So how do you want to expand this particular model of mentorship?
I would say I have already touched so many individuals, like qualification wise. I would say I have trained BA, BCom, BTech, MTech, PhD, BSc, BA English Honors, 12th dropout, some divorcee, victims of domestic violence, and some single mother, and I would say someone who is literally struggling to make two ends meet. And I also, within my own personal capacity, I also teach individuals, some underprivileged kids based in India, so slum dwellers. I do teach them. I also provide them financial assistance. So I pay them rather than charging money from them, because I'm in a well placed, I would say I'm well equipped to, I would say, to cater to that segment. If someone needs financial assistance, then I do provide financial assistance as well. So as of now, I have managed to touch so many lives all over across the globe, right? Someone who is a taxi driver, like recently someone who is working in, I would say, he's in Poland. He works as a taxi driver. And there's someone who is working in Dubai, and he was working as a chauffeur at some point of time. So I'm training him as well. So like this, I have managed to transform so many lives within my own capacity. Now you're saying that how do I plan to, I don't have any plans.
There is a human limit to yourself, right? You cannot clone yourself. I wish you could clone 20 of yourselves to take care of such cases. So how do you plan to now expand your positive and inspirational influence?
Yeah, so I mean, I would need basically the help from you or the, I would say, audience. I want to reach out to as many people as possible. Like I've already managed to reach 17 countries through word of mouth. So I always say that if you come across any deserving candidate who is needing some guidance, some mentorship, or is financially challenged, I'm more than happy to exhaust all my resources. That is one thing.
I recently saw a post where you had refunded a high value exam fee of a student just because he did very well.
Yes, that is basically my part of my training. I would say I always encourage my students. I mean, I make them write a technical certification. If they cross, let's say, more than 90%, then I reimburse their exam fees, just to encourage them and as a token of appreciation for the hard work that they have put in.
That is exemplary also, I would say.
Yes, because I feel that student, they should be motivated, and so that is definitely I would say part of, I would say that's my policy, that I have decided that whosoever does it, I have to do that. But at the same time, I also see that if there is some student who is financially challenged, does not matter which country he is located, I try to help them financially as well from my own pocket. Like for example, I have paid house rent of some of my students, those who can't afford to pay their house rent. I've also taken care of personal loans of some of the students because they are not able to commit to the time frame or commit to the studies. So I do take care of their financial, I would say, commitments as well. Again, coming back to your original question, how do I plan to expand it? So yes, I did receive offer from one of the venture capitalists who wanted to invest in this, but then I do not have intention. I don't want to add any commercial aspect to this. So the whole part of, I would say, this training is, I mean, I would say the USP is I do charge money from the students, but after they get the job. So I charge a certain percentage of 1 year salary.
That brings me to another question. What is the model, the financial model or the commercial model that the audience would like to know?
Okay, so the commercial model is basically I would say mantra is no job, no fees. When I say no job, no fees, if the student do not get the job, they don't have to pay anything from their pocket. But then does it mean that there is no upfront cost? The answer is no. I do charge some nominal fees, which I call it upfront cost. But the majority of my fees I charge once they get the job. But then there are certain clear-cut guidelines where I say that if you do not get a job after completing my training, let's say after 6 months of time, then whatever money you have paid me upfront fees, that is 100% refundable without any questions asked. So which again justifies my mantra, no job, no fees.
That is to motivate that somebody has paid you something and they are motivated to come to you and be committed to the targets and goal of career upgrade or career shift, as the case may be.
Exactly. So it actually keeps them, I would say, motivated enough that yes, they have put something on stake, so they take the training seriously.
Yes.
And on top of this, essentially, because I say that it's 100% refundable, so at least I don't see any other university or any other trainer who claims that if you don't get job after completing the training, you take 100% refund. So all my terms and conditions are absolutely transparent, and I say with full confidence that yes, either you get a job or you take 100% refund. So it is basically, my business model is simple. It's a 100% safe investment. So if you complete the training, you're going to get the job. So this is what my business model is. And I charge, in general, I charge 20% of 1 year gross salary as my fees once the student gets the job.
And the students, are they happy to pay that amount?
Okay, so mostly yes, I would say students they are I would say they are okay to pay, but sometimes, as you say, that this world is, I would say, every individual is different. So yes, I did face some of the challenges in getting money once they get placed, and so if you want, I can disclose those figures as well.
No, that's okay. We'll keep those on the privacy clause.
Okay.
Tell me, during the journey of a student, they are coming from different educational background and professional background. Do they face any struggle, both emotionally and technically, when you are coaching them, teaching them, mentoring them for IT, a career in IT?
Of course, I mean, the answer to that question is not a simple one. I would like to take some time to explain. So imagine that if a security guard is coming to me, for him, if he has to make a career into IT, I don't call this goal as an ordinary goal. This is an extraordinary goal. And I always say extraordinary goal needs, I would say, extraordinary efforts. It cannot be achieved by ordinary efforts. So yes, there are highs and lows, and my biggest challenge as a I would say mentor is not the technical training. My biggest challenge as a mentor is to keep them motivated throughout the journey. And now, how do I keep them motivated? The answer is almost very frequently I keep getting, I would say, one of the other success stories of my students. So I keep sharing those success stories just to reassure them that they are going in the right direction, they are in the right hands. So I just keep sharing whatever feedbacks, or if there is any success story, if anyone has achieved some job, or if there is any feedback, I keep sharing those with my students.
How much personal effort do you have to put in a 24-hour day?
I mean, I'm almost 24/7. I'm available to answer all my queries of all the students. But practically, it is not possible. But yes, I'm available. Like as and when we are talking, I mean, I have received so many phone calls and messages, which I'm yet to answer it. So
can we put a safe number of 15 hours a day, 16 hours a day?
I would say because I provide training through recorded videos, right? Okay. So essentially, I don't have to be physically involved in basically clarifying their doubts. It's mostly they watch my recorded videos. So if at all they have any question, then they've asked those questions. So I need to basically respond to them through my WhatsApp messages. So you can say I'm available almost always online, but I cannot quantify whether it is 8 hours or 10 hours or 15 hours. But yes.
But putting those videos in place would take a lot of effort. And with the changing technologies and the changing times, you have to upgrade them. So that would call for lots of effort.
That's absolutely correct. So essentially, as I said, those videos, when I started initially teaching, I recorded those videos for 3 years. So it is a hard work of imagine 3 years of effort, no Saturday, no Sunday, no weekends. And I also teach them on weekdays as well. So essentially no holiday for 3 years, which is quite a huge amount of commitment. So I invested those 3 years, but then those videos turned out to be a very high quality videos. And from 4 students, I have lost count actually. I'll be very honest with you. So maybe approximately 800 to 900 students I have trained till date. And
800 to 900.
Yes. So it started with 4 students, and
that's like a whole university altogether.
I'm privileged to say this. I mean, normally a professor or a lecturer does not get this kind of opportunity in their whole lifetime, which I have managed to, would say.
So basically 800 to 900 students' life has been changed because they are coming to you with an objective of upgrading their life, upgrading their pay package, upgrading their profession. If a security guard has come to you to get his career upgraded, so many lives have been transformed. Is that so?
That's absolutely correct. I mean, there was a question earlier, is there a commercial aspect to it? So answer to that, I would like to just briefly touch upon that. Now, the kind of inspiration or the energy that I drive from making difference to people's life, that keeps me going. So yes, I have managed to, I would say, I should not say I have managed to, the word I feel that Almighty has chosen me as the medium to make difference to people's life.
That's a very spiritual way of putting things, I would say.
I think I believe in it. So I don't think that I was capable enough to do this, but somehow it started with 4 people, and then all of a sudden, without any marketing, it started growing like anything. And during the COVID period itself, when so many people were getting impacted, I could basically get so many people get back into, I would say, get into IT from absolutely non-IT background. So that was a massive, massive transformation. And there was a period when I also offered my services to UK prison. But then
UK prison.
yes, for basically the prisoners.
Okay.
I wanted to teach them, but then they said that due to COVID guidelines, they did not allow me to. They said that once the restrictions are over, then maybe we'll get in touch with
That's
you.
a very powerful initiative. If it goes through, those people who need most some kind of guidance will get directly from you.
Yeah.
Where are you standing on that initiative right now?
I'll be honest with you. I started this when I was during the COVID period, but after that, I mean, I got occupied with so many other students that I could not go back. But that was my intent, and I did approach them, and then they said that they will get back to me once the COVID guidelines are relaxed. But after that, I could not go back. But that was the intent. I wanted to make a massive difference, basically, to the society.
So that's another day's discussion when you start the transformation of prisoners from their life in prison to something very worthwhile they can do in the real world outside the prison walls. So good luck to that. So back to what you are doing currently. How has over a period of time your mentorship changed? The method of mentorship or your own personal definition of mentorship, how has that changed, or it still stays where you started?
I think I have evolved as a person during this journey a lot, because you really need to understand, I would say, the psychology of the student, and it really needs a lot of effort basically to reap in that faith and confidence. Like, I mean, I always believe, as per our Hindu Shastra, we say that faith is like a vessel, right? So you always get proportional to your faith. So how a student is going to, I would say, impose faith in your process or your training. So that is very, very important. So a student can only put faith only proportional, effort proportional to his faith. So how do I build up that faith? So I normally, I would say, keep motivating. I keep discussing basically, and not only, I will not say that I'm just a technical trainer, but I also provide them, I would say, you can call me as a life coach, where I actually listen to their psychological problems, what challenges they are going through, and I try to solve their problems as well. And I would like to make a claim that I have managed to, you can say, act as a counselor, more of a counselor rather than a trainer, where two husband wives, they are, I would say, fighting with each other. I would say I managed to, what do you call,
Mediate?
act as a mediator.
Is that the word? Yeah.
Act as a mediator, and sometimes I would say I have managed to save, I would say, a family from getting divorced.
Oh, that's
So I mean, you can imagine that it's not my role as a mentor to basically venture into some personal life, and then, because I know that if a student is not able to study, then I need to step into their personal life and try to find out why they are not able to put enough effort. So I need to understand the reason behind that. And I would say the entire world is going through a very, very difficult time. People are having lots of emotions, so it's very, very, you need to understand basically their emotions as well, that why they are not putting enough efforts. So sometimes it could be some personal issues, sometimes it could be financial issues, or maybe a lot of stress and anxiety because of the current ongoing situation in the, I would say, in the current scenario, because of the job market, the recession. So people, they have lots and lots of, I would say, mental issues. So I need to cope up as a mentor to them and reassure them with, I would say, not only, I would say, with some suggestions and tips. As a mentor, I always say one thing, like a guru always makes another guru.
yes.
He'll never make a disciple. So if I call myself guru, then I don't keep anything with myself. I always impart whatever knowledge I have 100% to the student. So I try to, I would say, impart not only the technical knowledge, but also the life coach lessons, what people should know. So I also teach them how to meditate. Again, it is not part of my training. So, but then how to manage your stress, how to overcome the anxiety. So I provide lessons to my students as a part of my training, which is again not part of any technical training. So
outside the curriculum, let's say that you are providing holistic support, mental, technical, life support, financial support, all together put in a package. Though package would be more a commercial term, but putting all together as a guidance that you are providing to your students. And I think at this point of time, if there are any university administrators or directors of those large institutes, if they are listening, they can take few lessons about how to take care of their students in a holistic manner. Exemplary cases that you have given, and they are all admirable, and they require an applaud, and I am sure the students would have a very high sense of gratitude and a high sense of thankfulness towards you.
Absolutely, I would say, I cannot thank enough the universe for giving me this kind of opportunity and the kind of satisfaction that I derive, the kind of, I would say, happiness or the joy that I bring on people's life who have lost hope. Imagine that someone who is a victim of domestic violence. Imagine that someone who is fighting, I would say, legal case in the court for settlement, a single mom. If she is able to start a career, like I had an example of a student who did her master's in 2009, and she is based in India, back home.
That's like 15 years ago.
15 years ago in 2009, and she is a single mom fighting her case in the court for settlement, and she started her IT career in 2024. So after 15 years, that was her first job.
Going through everything in life.
So you can imagine what kind of situation she would have been in. Imagine being a single mom and with, I would say, a 10-year-old daughter. So the moment I see that kind of joy and happiness on her face, and I see the kind of gratitude that her parents show towards me, that you have actually saved my daughter's life.
Priceless.
So, I cannot quantify with any kind of money that I make, any kind of, I would say, package somebody can offer me. So, I'm not able to, I'm at loss of words basically to explain or to quantify that kind of satisfaction which I derive from these kind of success stories.
It's not only a tough journey for the students because they know where they stand. It's a very tough journey for you as a mentor in this particular definition to stand into a system of uncertainty, into a situation of uncertainty with so many students together. So how do you keep yourself fit and fresh to take on new challenges like these every day?
I would say I will again take some time to answer this question. Normally I believe that, yes, you're absolutely right. One has to be in the right frame of mind. So I try to spend time with myself every day. And again, it's a part of my, I would say, daily, I would say, routine. I spend time every day 1 hour with me, and I call it living in the moment. I call that living in the moment. So I just focus. I try to basically empty my mind at all, and I try to teach the same to my students as well, because this entire world, I would say, every other second person is having some sort of a stress or anxiety, and the reason why they have this stress or anxiety is because if you logically think, we start feeling stressed out the moment if we start thinking about the future. So I always give this example. If someone is having stress or anxiety, I ask them to take a deep breath. And when you take a deep breath, for example, if I ask you, take a deep breath, and when you take a deep breath, and after that if I ask you, okay, what was going through your mind when you were taking a deep breath?
Yeah.
Were you thinking about your mortgage? Were you thinking about the cost of inflation?
I would be thinking about the deep breath.
So you'll be thinking about the deep breath. Essentially, nothing will be going through your mind if you're taking deep breath. So essentially, that is a mantra of living in the moment, right? So the biggest success mantra, I would say, I always take every decision by I try my level best to be in the moment. And I try to make conscious effort to stay in the moment. It's not only that it's only for 1 hour. Whenever I'm talking to you, whenever I'm trying to make any commitments, I always first think in the mind that whatever commitments I'm making, do I actually mean it, or I'm just saying it for the sake of saying? So you have to have control over your thoughts. I always try to, I would say, re-energize myself every day. That's my routine, and I have been following this routine for the last almost 5 years, right? So every day, irrespective of whatsoever may happen, I spend 1 hour with myself, and then I impart, I would say, how to cope up with the stress to my students as well. And the simple mantra is, again, it might sound, I would say, spiritual, but I would still like to
reiterate.
If that's, for example, if I give a simple example that imagine if you have 100,000 pounds in your account and you have just 1 day to spend that money. So what are you going to do? So your answer will most probably, I'm going to spend it in all possible directions, whatever I want to achieve, because I know that after 1 day that money will be taken away. So similarly, our life is also
limited.
Is limited. So if at all, if we keep thinking about future, we don't know, are we going to survive till the next breath also or not? So live every moment. If you remember your death, that means live every day as if today is your last day. I not only say it, I actually mean it, and I believe in it. So essentially we have to live our life by staying in the moment and always remember the death. So that always, this I would say, remembering death helps me to, I would say, always free from stress, and I try to enjoy every moment.
That's a profound spiritual lesson and concept that you have given to the audience of this radio. That's very kind of you. And I wish, like your students, something can be taken out of this living in the moment concept that you have just shared. How do you want to take forward the concept of education, holistic education, into next 5 years? Because the world is changing as far as the education is concerned. India, specifically, education is becoming commercial and business-like, and it is becoming more of a training center rather than Gurukul, where we all came about. So how do you want to take this holistic model of yours into next 5 years? I know you did touch few of these points earlier, but how do you see as a society, how do you want to take it forward?
I would like to mention one thing, like the way entire education system is now, right? It's not only India, but everywhere. I would say the concept of education is somewhere I feel that it is more or less quite commercialized. We try to quantify the success of our education system purely on the basis of whether we are able to, how much paycheck we are able to get it at the end of the day, whether you translate into, I would say, proper engineer or a doctor. So in my opinion, other than whatever is being taught in the entire institute, we must add one more subject. I would say it should be part of life, which I always say, spending time with yourself, or I should call it meditation. I mean, the way I say meditation means, the same example which I said, what you were thinking while you were taking a deep breath a few minutes back. So your answer was, I was not thinking anything. So the meditation is actually the art of doing nothing by staying awake. So if we start making this as a part of curriculum, because nowadays there's so much of stress or anxiety all over across the globe, where we have one or the other kind of stress. So we never get any opportunity to empty our mind. So if we are able to include this in our curriculum, then students will be equipped to cope up with any kind of, I would say, any kind of situation, be it failure. And normally nowadays you have seen that there is no, I would say, acceptance for failure. We all are anxious. We start getting nervous because I would say we are not.
Failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option. Yeah. So how do we cope up with that? So for that is one thing. How do I expand this? Again, I'm still struggling basically to expand this model. But yes, what I have few plans. Like India is, I would say, a very, very big country. So I'm still in the process of basically automating this complete training process where I'm not the bottleneck. So I'll basically try to develop some software where everything is automated and I'm able to reach out to as many individuals as possible. And because from the 4 students from one country, if I have managed to reach 17 countries purely with no marketing, that itself speaks a lot that my model, whatever I say, it does speak a lot. I mean, students have showed a lot of confidence in my training, and it markets for itself, right? So, I mean, I'm still thinking of a few ideas. How can I make it better without compromising on the quality of the education? Like, as I said, there was a venture capitalist who was willing to make it commercially aspect, but I don't want to add that commercial aspect to my training, because the moment you start taking, I would say, venture capitalist, and they'll have their own commercial interest, and then I would say the whole purpose of making a difference to people's life will be compromised to an extent, which I don't want to do that. And I still claim that yes, it's a kind of a service to the society, because I earn when my students earn, right? I do not earn when my students do not earn. And I claim that I refund whatever money they have paid. If my mission is not accomplished, I refund the money whatever they have paid me till date. So it is essentially a kind of a service. Yes, I do make money as well. I'll not deny that I don't make money. Once they get the job, they pay me good money.
And they would be happy to share their part of earnings to you, more of a gratitude, with sense of gratitude and thankfulness than actually paying the fees for it.
Exactly, yeah. So I mean, nobody would mind if they get the job. So it's a mission accomplished. So I would say yes. I mean, I don't struggle basically to get the fees once they get the job.
So Kundanji, what would you like the audience to do after hearing about your work, about your philanthropy, and about your involvement with transforming lives and society?
First of all, I would like to express gratitude that Almighty has chosen me for, I would say, this kind of job where I'm able to make a difference to people's life, and I actually want to continue doing this. And I would say through this medium, I want to reach out to as many people as possible, so that maybe I can continue impacting people's life. So imagine that you might, if you know somebody who is financially challenged or who needs mentorship, who needs guidance, who can't afford to pay hefty fees of the university, I'm more than happy to take care of everything, including the financial aspect. Just help me reach out to those individuals. You can share my contact details.
How can people find you?
Okay, so I would say as of now, I usually operate through my UK mobile number, so I'm available. So if you want, my number is, if you want, I can share it.
Yes.
It is +44 790 369 3835. So whosoever is interested, they can reach out to me, and I have my YouTube channel also available, which is with the name of Universal IT Services, and I do have a company registered just for some people who wish to see my website. So it is globalITgeeks.tech.
Global IT Geeks. How do we spell that?
It is GLOBAL, Global IT Geeks, ITGEEKS. So globalITgeeks.tech. So they can
.tech.
Yep. So they can reach out to me through the website. But the best way and the fastest way is basically they should ping me on WhatsApp number, on the mobile number.
Can you repeat the number again?
The number is +44 790 369 3835.
So that makes +44. That's like UK number. But then again, people from India can also contact Kundanji on WhatsApp. So 790 3693 835. That's UK number +44.
That's correct. And as I said, this is I would say 100% safe investment. Either you get the job or you get the money back. So I don't think that it's a no-brainer. So if anyone who wishes to make a career into IT, as I said, I have the age group of my students vary from, I would say, year 10, I would say 10 till 51. So I have students, you can imagine someone who is in year 5 and someone who has touched more than half century. So they are my students. They are from different backgrounds, and I would say different premier institutes and different countries. So I have basically the success stories. The journey is not yet over. Every other day, one of the other student is actually making a successful career into IT through my mentorship.
Splendid. This was fantastic information that you have given about your wonderful transformational work, not only to the career of people, but also to their personal lives. You have been a life coach for them, and I'm pretty sure many of them would have called you a guru or a mentor, and I'm pretty sure you are well happy with your work, fulfilling your dreams of making change, substantial change in the life of so many people, like you said, 800 to 900 students over a period of 7 to 8 years. So this is a fantastic journey. It is exemplary. And from the bottom of my heart and my viewers, I would like to thank you for all this effort that you are putting in. And I look forward to looking for more success stories, and we will share them next time when we meet. So thank you very much, Kundan Sharma ji, and dear viewers, you can reach him at +44, that's UK number 790 3693 and I will share this number in the description also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Everything's fine on 93.9 Dublin South FM.